How do you define the values, desires, and expectations of the love relationship that you want in your life? Be it single or be it married, irrespective. Hi, I'm Anika, and this is Rewrite Your Story. Today is part 6 of the 12-part series of the Lifebook that we've been covering, in which we're taking a deep dive into various categories of our life in order to design the blueprint of our life and rewrite our story. And our stop today is on love relationship. Now, the several categories that we've covered so far, or those that we're going to cover, there's 12 of them. Now, imagine if these 12 categories made up a block or a shape or a form of any kind. The love relationship would be the heart of that block, the heart of that form or shape that comes to your mind. Experiencing real fulfillment in life that fills your world with compassion, joy, happiness, gratitude, smiles, beautiful memories, all of that rests on the success of this category. Success in career, financial goals, even your social relationships would be incomplete without this category, without the critical piece of being able to share it with someone you love, someone that walks with you in support, in confidence, in togetherness across various stages of your life. Relationships are meant to bring positive impact into our lives, into the world that we create around ourselves. If they're causing pain, anxiety, anger, resentment, then we're making some poor choices for ourselves. Not just poor choices on the partner that we may be seeking or the partner that we have a relationship with, but poor choices on who we are as a partner, on who we are as that ideal hero or heroine for our partner. We're not being conscious of the values, the desires, and the expectations of others and ours. So taking control of our own life by the values with which we want to drive the results for us. Imagine the impact that the love relationship can have on various aspects of your life. If you take control of your life in one category and you get results for it, imagine the collective power of it between you and your partner, with a conscious choice on who that partner is going to be, what sort of values they're going to carry, and also how you're going to show up for them and how you're going to nurture that relationship. Now, here, I do want to mention we're tackling the love relationship in today's episode, but in the following 2 episodes, we will be tackling other 2 important types of relationships that are a part of everyone's life story. And that would be the social relationships that we carry in our life and the parenting relationships that we carry in our life. Even if you're not a parent today, or you've chosen to not be a parent, that would still apply to parenting to younger members of your extended family. Today, we're talking about the love relationship. Now, this is also a really, really personal category. It is so emotional. It can be exciting and scary. So I invite you to really dig deep into your desires of what you want out of your current or your future love life. As we did with all of the other categories on the Lifebook, we're going to use the PVPS model in order to define the kind of partner that we expect would give us the ideal love relationship in our life, but also to define who we want to be in order to attract or nurture that kind of ideal relationship that we aspire for ourselves. As I said, this is really personal. It is really emotional. It requires us to be extremely vulnerable. So give yourself permission to let your guard down. Open yourself up to yourself. And let's define the premise, the vision, the purpose, and the strategy on what kind of a person you want to become in order to attract or nurture the love life that you desire. In case you have made a conscious decision to stay single, then this category still applies with this PVPS model. Just treat it as a relationship with yourself and self-love. All right, so let's get going. Let's see how we can define our premise in this category. So, as emotional beings, we all have a need to be loved unconditionally. I mean, that's how our journey begins in this world, through the love we are welcomed with at birth. We all want to be vulnerable, to feel like we can be in a space where we are unjudged. We live in a world where we spend so much more time connected with technology, laptops, computers, iPads, TVs, than we do connected to people in reality. How do you then design your life in a way that there is a dedicated space for your love relationship in your 24 hours of the day? And more importantly, how do you nurture it over the years to keep the passion and that happiness degree rising over the years? What is your belief on your current or future love relationship in your life? What role would you like it to play in the blueprint of your life? Now, before you look for the Mr. or Mrs. Right, or if you are in a relationship, ask yourself, are you Mr. or Mrs. Right? Are you a version of what you're hoping to find in the future or expect today out of your current relationship? Here, think about how this aspect also ties into all of the other aspects of the life book, your character, your emotional self. Think about how the premise behind all of those categories connects to your expectations in this category. Moving on to the vision. I remember this was probably the most challenging part in the life book when I worked on it the first time. Defining that ideal, perfect, desired relationship and life partner requires bravery and courage. So be prepared for an emotional journey when you work on this section. And remember, you want to define this from a positive, unlimited perspective, reasonable, but not a negative or a limited perspective, right? And again, even if it is about the current status of your relationship, do not think about it on where it stands today. Think about it where you would like it to stand for tomorrow. How would you describe that ideal life partner for yourself? What would you bring to the table daily to nurture and cultivate the desired relationship that you want out of your partner? And again, as I said, this is not about where you are on your journey of love. It is not about the past, and it's also not about where you are today. It's about the future. It's about where you would want to be in this category of your life tomorrow. What kind of a love relationship do you want to create? Do you envision a compassionate, dependable kind of getting all together with love growing year over year kind of relationship? Or do you envision a relationship with immense romance, passion, adventures? Or perhaps it's a little bit of both. How do you define the life partner for this kind of relationship that you envision for yourself? And how do you show up? What do you bring to the table to make this happen? That's important too. Let's see how to define the purpose. Now, either ourselves, we may have experienced pain in love relationships, or we may know of people who have. It's painful, it's hard, it's tough. The healing takes time. Divorce is considered one of the top 5 reasons for depression. The impact of this category that it can have on who we are today and who we become is just immense. That's why defining the purpose of why we want what we want in this category provides clarity on what are those ingredients that we should seek to prepare the soup of love, so that we can ensure that positive energy is guided, into our overall world rather than negativity or toxicity. So, what is behind the vision that you outlined for the ideal life partner and the ideal you? Why do you seek those personality traits or values for yourself and your ideal partner? How do you see the connection of this category of your life to the other aspects of your life? What kind of impact do you think it can have on your career, your emotional self, perhaps your social relationships, your overall quality of life? These are some of the questions that you want to think about in this section. And finally, the strategy. How do we action this into our life, into our world? See, at the beginning of relationship, love is in the air, right? There's passion, there's excitement, there's thrill, there's going out of your way to impress and do all of these nice things. But then life happens, work gets busier, kids come, we get wrapped up around responsibilities, school, work routines. There's hardly any alone time that we get to spend with our partners. When we do have the time at the end of the day or over a weekend, there are either other commitments or we're too exhausted from the week, fulfilling responsibilities between home and office. While this is the story for many and considered normal, it doesn't have to be. You can rewrite the story for yourself and consciously make a little bit of effort into tiny habits that can keep your love life growing and expanding. So, what do you think you can bring into your daily life to keep the love on a high consistently? What do you want to be more conscious of in terms of your love relationship? Perhaps better communication. Poor communication is one of the top reasons for relationship issues. As human beings, emotional beings, we also want to have a space to be vulnerable, unjudged, just be ourselves. And we look for that in our love relationships, in our partners, in those people that are the closest to us. How can you create habits in your daily life to allow your partner to know that you can offer them that space? How attentive and acknowledging would you like to be for your partner on a daily basis? Do you express your feelings to your partner regularly? Or do you believe that in the future, if you're not in a relationship today, do you believe that in the future you would see yourself as someone who expresses their feelings regularly, daily? Or do you think that you're going to assume that they know, so you don't really need to say or do anything for them as an expression of your love for him or her? Are there small daily expressions that you can implement to fuel the love in your relationship? You see, all of the categories in the Lifebook are a work in progress. So if this category is uncomfortable, emotionally challenging, it's okay. Don't take a deep dive. Just dip your foot in. Just take a little tiny step. And do let me know if and how it impacts your life. I'd love to hear from you. Put in your questions, your thoughts, and your comments down in the comments on this video. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we tackle parenting relationships on how to design the blueprint of your life on Rewrite Your Story. Until then, take care and stay awesome.